Hi everybody, so I'm back today with another video. This isn't going to be a squish video because as we're getting closer to Christmas, I thought I would start changing the theme a little bit to some more Christmassy things. So today I'm going to be making some Christmassy cookies, some very easy cookies that you can even make with your kids. Okay, so the first thing I've done is I've turned on my oven to 175 degrees Celsius. If I'm lucky enough to have listeners in other countries, it will be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, and here I've got I've got 1 cup of butter. This is salted butter. I just won't add salt to the recipe later. And I have 3/4 of a cup of sugar. Okay, so these two need to cream together. Okay, so I'm going to do that very quickly. Okay, so now that the butter and sugar have been creamed, I'm going to add 1 egg. Okay, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla essence. Okay, so that's 1. I'm going to guesstimate a half. Oh, that was way more than a half. Okay, so I guess it's going to be a little more vanilla-y. Okay, and then I will mix those in. Okay, so my wet ingredients have been mixed. Now I am doing the dry ingredients. So this is 2.5 cups of normal wheat flour, and I'm going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay, then I need to whisk these together. This is the part where you will also add in the salt if you're adding salt. But like I mentioned earlier, I won't be adding salt because I used salted butter and the recipe calls for unsalted butter. Okay. All right. So now we're going to gradually add this dry mixture to the wet mixture until it forms a dough. Okay. So I'm going to do that very quickly. Okay, so it's all mixed in. I have a nice soft dough here. I had to climb in with my hands because I don't have a food processor, but if you do, this will be a lot easier. Okay, so now I'm going to prepare a baking tray and we're going to roll these out into balls and we're going to add our fun Christmassy sprinkles and now chocolate chips. All right, so I've prepared my sprinkles and my chocolate chips. These are the ones that I found at Checkers. They have all these different Christmassy colors, which is really cute for this time of year. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little ball. Doesn't need to be very big. Okay, and then you roll it. Okay, and then you can dip it into your sprinkles and cover it nicely. Okay, and we'll stick this onto our baking tray. Okay, and then I'm going to take another ball and I'm just going to shove some chocolate chips in there. It might actually be easier to mix the chocolate chips into a small portion of the cookies. But there we go, this is my chocolate chip one. Okay, and I'm going to finish the rest of the batch. And I'm going to stick them in the oven for about 10 minutes, I would say. About between 9 and 11 minutes, or when they're starting to go golden brown. Okay, so I will be back once they are out the oven. Okay, so they've come out the oven. It took way longer than 11 minutes, so just judge when they turn golden brown. And I will finish up the rest. Okay, so here's my beautiful batch of cookies. So on average, I kept them in the oven for about 20 minutes. That was the perfect time to get them to the consistency I like them, or the texture. So you guys can play around with your own thing. I prefer them on the crunchier side. I know some people prefer gooey cookies. But yeah, these are my lovely Christmassy cookies that are super festive and they are super delicious. So I can't wait to tuck in and I'm so excited for the holidays. Okay guys, I will see you again for another Christmassy video. See you soon.